Hey, I suck at sports. What's up? And today, seriously, I did some sports today and I sucked. And today I'm gonna do another mini album review. Yes, yeah. I'm tired. Well, anyway, last time I wanted to do a review on Ed Sheeran's Divide and Algier, The Underside of Power, and they were supposed to be the third mini album review. But I figured, why not separate them? Why not? So here we are. This is the real mini albums review 3. Albums review, because I will be reviewing more than one albums. In fact, 2 albums. So today I'm going to do a review firstly on Brockhampton's Saturation. Now, Brockhampton is an American, all-American boy band that has a lot of different people in it, including Amir Van, Kevin Abstract, Dom McLennan, and Merlin and a bunch of others. I'm sorry if I miss any names, but these are the 4 most important people of the group, in my opinion. So anyway, I really want to talk about Brockhampton's Saturation, because they have already released Saturation 1 and 2 already, and they are about to release Saturation 3, which is insane because they are creating and producing an insane amount of music this year. So without further ado, let's start. There's a lot of things I like about this album, but there is also a couple of things I don't like about this album. What I like about this album is that it's really creative, it's colorful, it's really consistent, and there are moments on this album that's surprisingly emotional. But there is also a couple of moments on this album where I just think, it's acceptable, but it's not as great as the other moments. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the song Swim. It's a really dreamy, gorgeous song that is mostly vocals. It's good. It's really good, but it's not great, and I don't really care much about it. I really like the dreamy quality to it. I feel like that adds to the album, its greatness. And I also don't really care for Trip, which is a very normal auto-tune ballad. And I can hear that the band tries to be mainstream on this song. And this song is like, today I can be whoever I want to be, and it's just, yeah. And I also don't really care for Tupac, which is basically 1.5 minute long. Yeah, it's kind of insignificant and slow. It's emotional too, but I just don't really care for it. And the song that I don't care about the most is Face. At first, it sounds really appealing, it sounds really exciting, but then overall, it just feels so unnecessary to put into this album. So Face doesn't really do much. It's kind of just average, with all due respect. But there are a lot of good songs on this album too. Let's start with a Bump, which is one of the harshest bangers on this album, and the hook is really nice. All the instruments just kind of goes away, and we only hear Kevin Abstract and this really simple guitar line. I really enjoy it, and I actually surprisingly like Milk, which has this 2000s alternative emo rock band feel to it.
And the short commute, used to want to sell coke and whip a Audi coupe, crazy if I did that.
And it sounds unexpectedly upbeat and uplifting, and the flow is really nice too. I also enjoy Boys, which is a more Kendrick Lamar inspired song. You can hear those psychedelic To Pimp a Butterfly influences on that song. It's decent. It's a really nice and sweet little slow jam. Hello boys, hello boys. I forgot the lyrics, but it's okay. It's kind of good. And I also really like the lyrics on this album. The lyrics, they are interesting and entertaining. Just by listening to the lyrics, you can actually hear a story, a narrative. Like on songs like Bank or Cash or Face fake, yeah, the lyrics are actually intriguing. And then I'm gonna move on to some of my favorite songs on this album. Um, Waste is a great ending for the album. I mean, it's not like my top favorite of Brockhampton, but Waste is also a really emotional, really sweet, and sunset kind of ballad to the ending of the album. You know, it runs deeper than normal rap music. Like, it has an emotional level to it, which I really like. And I find Star incredibly hilarious with all these pop culture references, and it's friggin' hilarious. Yeah, it's a little bit repetitive, and sometimes it feels a little bit redundant, but it's also really fun and quirky. But oh boy, my two favorite tracks on this album, it's got to be the first song, Heat, and the second song, Gold. First of all, Heat is this really Kanye Yeezus sounding song with this really harsh, distorted, bass boosted bass line, and with those animalistic, beastie verses. Oh my gosh, Amir Van is spitting fire on this song. I just really love this song, and I really like the ending of the song where a wall of sound just creeps out and if you have watched the music video, it's insane. It's really wacky, and I really love it. And even better, Gold is a really light-hearted, catchy, and fun song.
Keep a gold chain on my neck, fly as a jet. Boy, better treat me with respect. Keep a gold chain on my neck, fly as a jet. Boy, better treat me with respect.
Keep a gold chain on my neck, fly as a jet. Boy, better treat me with respect. Yeah, Kevin Abstract is great on this song, and I really like the bass line. Dun 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 dun. And yeah, there's not much to say about Heat and Gold other than they are great tracks, really well produced, really well written, and the lyrics are kinda amazing. They deserve to be in the top 10 best songs of 2017. They're that good. So overall, Brockhampton has presented as one of the most consistent and great and colorful and creative, bouncy, snappy, catchy rap album of 2017. And yeah, I can hear the Odd Future influences, Kendrick influences on this thing, and I think it's pretty good. Saturation 2 also came out, and I think it's okay, but it's not as good as Saturation 1. Yeah, I mean, everyone did a great job on this album. I mean, Joba, Merlin, Dom is really good as well. And yeah, there are powerful moments on this, and there are lighthearted moments on this. It's creative, it's youthful, and I simply love it. And it takes a few listens to like it. The first time I listened to it, it doesn't stand out to me that much, but as time goes by, I really like this album. The worst song is Face, and the best is Gold. I'm saying Brockhampton's Saturation. I'm giving Brockhampton's Saturation a 9 out of 10. Yeah. Next up, I'm gonna get into the mood here. Next up, we have Xiu Xiu's Forget. Yeah, and in case you don't know, yeah, Xiu Xiu is kind of unpopular for some reason, but they have created a lot of good music in the past, such as Xiu Xiu plays the music of Twin Peaks, which is an album I absolutely love. And this year they created an album that's completely original, like Twin Peaks, the TV show, David Lynch, you know that. But this one, yes. They are a duo, an experimental pop alternative electronic art pop duo in the USA. And they are really known for their really strange and creepy sound and ominous sounds. The album opener is The Call, which has this raspy, wacky, zany rapper kind of spitting a line in the beginning, just thrown at your face. But I don't give a fuck, 'cause give me $1,000. Woo! And then the vocals started to creep in, and the whole thing's started to run crazy. Yeah, it's a really exciting start for the album in my opinion, and it certainly excites me to listen more. And then there's Queen of the Losers, which is less significant. Yeah, there's some good moments on this thing, but Queen of the Losers doesn't really stand out that much. But then there are also a lot of great tracks on this thing. Yeah, first of all, I really love The Call, and I also like those slower, moodier songs. However, there's one song that I'm not particularly crazy about, and I think it's kind of, there's room for improvement. And then there are a lot of slow, moodier songs, more somber ones, and most of them are great, but there's one song that I'm not particularly too crazy about. And I think there's a lot of room for improvement. And I think the song is Hey Choco Banana, I think. I kind of forgot. But it's just this slow, forgettable jam that I'm not too crazy about. And the other slow songs are Petit, which sounds really, really insecure, and it sounds really heartfelt and intimate and sincere. It features these really sad vocals, weeping and sobbing, and it feels sad in a really dreamy way as well. And I also enjoy At Last, which sounds even more devastating, but in a more peaceful and harmonic way. There's this ominous kind of tortured background vocals in this song, and it just really weird and ominous in a really good and honest way. And I also enjoy the last song, Faith, Torn Apart. This is a 7-minute track. It's even longer than 7 minutes. First of all, it sounds like this ancient Middle Eastern tinged kind of track, and it just features all these really deep and dark and really thoughtful and drony sounds. And then the song kind of fizzes out, and we hear the frontman kind of recite this poem, and it sounds really near death. It really is, and it makes a great and memorable end for the album. And I really like Forget, which is the title track of the album. It is really polarizing and intoxicating. The introduction of the song sounds kind of like an LCD Sound System song that's kind of Joy Division inspired. And then it hits the climax, and the frontman is like, forget, and there's all these weird sounds you hear in the background. It's really unsettling, but that is the point of the song, right? Yeah, and it's a powerful song as well. And I also like Get Up, which sounds really pure and simple and confessional as well. And it feels like something you would listen to after chaos and hellfire just rain down in your face. It's kind of the cool down song you need. And that is because the song before Get Up is Wondering, which is an amazingly catchy song. Wondering, maybe, dun, dun, dun. And yeah, the chorus is incredibly catchy, and all these synths and instrumentals goes really well and cohesive together. Yeah, it's just fun, upbeat, and uplifting, and it's really rare for a trio group like Xiu Xiu. And yeah, I just love Wondering. It really grows on me. But my favorite track on this album is Jenny Go-Go, which is the first single they released before this album came out to tease us. it just has this really creepy, ominous sound to it. It's really glitchy, really distorted. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more quiet now because people are in my apartment right now. Anyway, I really love Jenny Gogo's creepy and strange lyrics, and I also really love the insane yells and bells dinging. The Jenny, Jenny, go, go. And I really love the polarizing vocals on this, and the ending of the song is incredibly amazing and satisfying to the ears. Those xylophones just going up and down, and those synthesizers, they are impeccably catchy and experimental at the same time. That's great. That is great. And yeah, Xiu Xiu's Forget is not an album for everyone. I mean, not all people enjoy these really strange, unsettling, and eccentric sounds, and not much people will also enjoy this album, which has this really dark theme. And this album deals with sex and self-hatred all the time. But I think it is a pretty interesting topic and concept for the album, and it just makes the album even more creepy and unsettling. And that is the point of the album, right? So yeah, I really love how they experimented with all these different sounds. These vocals, they are mesmerizing. I really like those synthesizers and the percussions on this thing. Those electronic percussions on this thing is amazing. And all these songs have these different textures, and to see them play with those textures and flavors, it's just really nice and fun, and it helps the album become more creative and artistic. Yeah, I mean, it's a good album. It takes a lot of listen to like the album, and it certainly is a dense listen. Yeah, that's it for the album review. The worst song is Hey Choco Bananas, and the best song is Jenny Go-Go. I'm giving Xiu Xiu Forget an 8 out of 10. Also, before I want to do a more in-depth review of Gorillaz Humanz, but no. I have decided, because of the tight schedule, I've decided to just briefly talk about the album first, then in the future I will make an in-depth review, but yeah, in the very far future. So right now, I'm gonna talk about Gorillaz Humanz in the most extremely brief way possible. So I've been a fan of Gorillaz for quite some time. I really love Demon Days. It's one of the best albums of the 2000s, in my opinion. And Plastic Beach is also really good. Their debut album is awesome too. Notable tracks are Clint Eastwood, Tomorrow Comes Today, and on Demon Days, Kids with Guns, Feel Good Inc., Dare, and all sorts of other songs as well. I also really love On Melancholy Hill and Stylo and Rhinestone Eyes. I mean, I love Gorillaz. But then they released Humanz, which is basically Phase 4, and it's actually kind of underwhelming. However, I don't hate it because there is a lot of decent tracks on that album, such as Hallelujah Money.
Hallelujah, hallelujah money, hallelujah money.
At first, Hallelujah Money just feels kind of underwhelming and just feels dumb and boring, but it really grows on you. And Saturn Bars also really grows on you. However, my favorite track on that album is Andromeda, which has this real lighthearted, quirky kind of bass line to it, and the vocal work is really cool. And I also love Ascension, right, featuring Vince Staples. It's really polarizing, fun, and refreshing. I really like Vince Staples' verses on that song. However, there's also a couple of really dumb tracks on that thing. Sex Murder Party is it's really unnecessary, to be honest. And then we have We Got the Power to Be Loving Each Other No Matter What Happens. And it's really kind of dumb. Like the song can be written and executed in a way more mature and ecstatic way, an excellent way, but it's just really underwhelming. But I like the fact that Noel Gallagher is teaming up with Damon Albarn, and I feel like Gorillaz or Damon Albarn is collaborating with too many people. Like there's too much collaborations and features on that album. We don't really hear 2D or Russell or Murdoch or Noodle. Like the band Gorillaz just kind of fades away. So I really hope that 2D and Murdoch just appear on that album more and contribute a little bit more, because to me the album Gorillaz, the album Humanz just feels kind of dry and underwhelming because the band Gorillaz is not the focus and it feels like a compilation album. And yeah, there are good moments on that album, but there's also some pretty cringy moments on that album too. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Best song is Andromeda.
Take it in your heart now,
And I love Ascension also. And the B-sides, man, Sleeping Powder. I freaking love that thing. And I love Let Me Out too, featuring Mavis Staples. Yeah. So I think I'm giving Gorillaz Humanz a 7 to a 6. A really strong 6 out of 10. So, have you listened to these albums? From 1 to 10, how much would you rate it? Like if you like, and subscribe if you want more.